The Cleveland Browns are threatening to bench him. The NFL scouts are writing hit pieces. And Shedeur Sanders? He just laughed all the way to the bank. Breaking news from Paris. The deal is done, and the number is staggering. Shedeur has officially signed an $80 million partnership with Amiri. To put that in perspective, that is more money than Joe Burrow made in his first 3 seasons combined. When a reporter in Paris asked if he was worried about the Browns drafting his replacement, Shedeur smiled and said, "I just made more in 1 signature than they can pay me in 4 years. I'm not worried about a roster spot. I own the team." But there is a specific clause in this contract that is going to make the Browns absolutely furious. I've learned that the deal requires Shedeur to wear custom Amiri cleats in games, which violates the NFL's uniform policy. Subscribe and hit the bell right now if you want to see the cleats that are about to cost him a fine every single Sunday. Click that button. Let's look at the shoes. Here is how Shedeur Sanders just bought his freedom.
But that's what you want to do, though. Oh, yeah. But you got to get waxed. If you wear this, you're gonna have to get right here waxed, though.
Nah, you go like turtleneck under that.
For real?
I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. Shedeur Sanders just rocked the fashion world with a massive move that has everyone talking. The star quarterback made his high fashion debut with luxury brand Amiri in Paris. And this isn't your typical endorsement deal. We are talking about an $80 million partnership that is turning heads across the NFL and the fashion industry. Buckle up, because this story is absolutely insane. This is not just about clothes or looking good on the sideline. This is about a complete takeover of the business world by a player who hasn't even hit his prime yet. Today, we are looking at the business empire of Shedeur Sanders, because what just happened in Paris is going to change the way athletes do business forever. We are seeing a quarterback transition from the gridiron to the runway, and securing a bag that most CEOs would dream of. Shedeur and his brother Shilo have locked down a deal that screams luxury and power. This is the new blueprint for the modern athlete, and we're going to break down every single dollar of it.
Shilo, he has a better closet for sure. He has a little bit more free time. Yeah, I got some more free time now. But we both have swag, you know what I'm saying? We get it from prime time. He hates to say it, but everything he try to wear, our dad already did. So he think he be doing it.
Here is what happened. Shedeur and his brother Shilo reportedly locked down an $80 million deal with Amiri. You read that correctly. $80 million. But this goes way beyond wearing clothes and posting photos on social media. Both brothers are set to walk the runway in Paris. We're talking actual high-fashion European runways. The whole experience. Shedeur Sanders is literally going from throwing touchdowns to sputting down Fashion Week catwalks. And honestly, it is brilliant. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why Shedeur? What made Amiri, this elite luxury fashion brand, put $80 million on the table for a football player? Let me explain. Shedeur's influence has major fashion brands fighting for his attention, and Amiri knew they couldn't wait. According to reports, Amiri signed him specifically because of his powerful connection to the American black community. He is one of the highest-rated young players who genuinely embodies the culture, the lifestyle, and the authenticity that luxury brands are racing to tap into. This deal isn't just about moving products. This is about cultural impact. This is about finding someone who can connect high fashion with street culture, luxury with realness, and Shedeur Sanders is the perfect bridge for exactly that. Amiri found their guy, and now Shedeur has touched down in Paris, preparing to hit that runway soon. His value is exploding, not just on the field, but off it, in ways most athletes only dream about.
Now fast forward recently to Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, goes viral, but not for football. but for how he structured his contract. He had an equity clause in his deal with Gatorade. That clause basically said, I'm not just here as a name or a body. I want part of what's being built off of me. I want ownership in the outcome. So that clause essentially just preserved his interest. And he didn't walk away with just a one-time check. He walked away with his corrected status in the contract, and he claimed his equity.
But here is where things get absolutely crazy. And this is where you really see the business brilliance of Shedeur Sanders. Let's back up for a second. Earlier, Gatorade offered Shedeur $60 million for a 3-year deal. For most athletes, $60 million over 3 years is an automatic yes. That is life-changing money. That is generational wealth right there on the table. But Shedeur Sanders isn't like most athletes. He looked at that check and he saw something bigger. Instead of taking the guaranteed payout, he restructured the deal to secure 3% ownership of Gatorade USA. Let that register for a second. He walked away from guaranteed cash to get equity in one of the biggest beverage companies on the planet. This is the kind of power move that separates good athletes from legendary businessmen. This is the type of decision they will be teaching in business schools for decades. Even though 3% might not sound massive at first, this is absolutely game-changing in terms of long-term returns. Gatorade USA pulls in billions with a B of dollars in revenue every single year. And owning even a fraction of that empire means Shedeur will be cashing checks for years, possibly decades into the future. This isn't about quick money. This is about building lasting wealth. This is about setting up his grandchildren's grandchildren for life. And here's the wild part. If the projections hold, Shedeur could become the youngest NFL billionaire while still playing. Think about that. Not a millionaire, but a billionaire. All while he is still suiting up on Sundays. He wouldn't need to wait until retirement. He wouldn't need to wait until his 40s or 50s. We could be watching a billionaire athlete still in his 20s.
Shedeur Sanders has sold the most amount of jerseys out of any rookie this year, but out of the top 10 jersey sellers, he's making the least amount of money. Which got me thinking, how many jerseys would he actually have to sell in order to match his NFL salary? He's on a 4-year, $4.6 million deal, which averages about $1.16 million per year. A jersey costs $130, so he'd have to sell about 9,000 jerseys per year, or 35,736 jerseys total to pay out his NFL contract. It's crazy because if you compare it to Cam Ward, he'd have to sell over 375,000 jerseys to match his NFL contract. Sometimes the brand is bigger than the draft.
While billionaire status might seem impossible for most athletes, it is not far-fetched for Shedeur, who is already fielding multi-million-dollar offers from multiple brands. This man is playing a completely different game, operating on a level far beyond anyone in his generation. Long before he ever took a professional snap, Shedeur made headlines by securing a record-shattering deal that had the entire sports world stunned. At the time, the $125 million contract with Nike was unprecedented for a player who hadn't played a single down in the NFL. People questioned it. Sports analysts, commentators, and fans on Twitter all wondered if he deserved that kind of money without proving himself first. But Shedeur didn't worry about the doubters. He knew his value. But things escalated quickly. The moment Shedeur stepped onto the field for his first preseason game, Nike triggered a special active player clause that immediately doubled his contract value. Just like that, his earnings jumped to $250 million over the next 4 years. And the deal went beyond just salary. Shedeur also negotiated an unprecedented 50% cut of all his jersey sales, creating a revenue stream that puts him in a category of his own. Think about that. 50% of jersey sales. When is the last time you heard of any athlete getting a deal like that? Usually, players get pennies on the dollar. Shedeur turned himself into a partner rather than just an employee. Every time a fan buys his jersey, half of that profit goes straight to the Sanders empire.
Yeah, I'm just excited for all of them. I gifted a lot of receivers the the prime DT96s. You know, a couple of them had them on. So I just gifted a couple of like the main receivers going into this game. You know, I gifted them some cleats. Some wore them, some didn't. But I was like, okay, this is just my little appreciation gift to them. Because they don't be having a lot in stock. So I couldn't do everybody. I wish I could.
Shedeur Sanders has never hidden his business-first approach, and it's obvious that his influence extends far beyond the football field. Beyond his record-breaking Nike contract, he's been steadily building a diverse empire that would make most entrepreneurs envious. He's everywhere. He launched his own apparel line, he dropped a signature barbecue sauce brand, he partnered with EA Sports for exclusive gaming content. He secured a major partnership with Brady Brand, aligning himself with Tom Brady. Each of these ventures isn't just a side project or a quick money grab. They are strategic plays designed to maximize his earning potential and establish his presence across multiple industries. The apparel line connects with his massive young fan base. The barbecue sauce ties into his southern roots. The EA Sports partnership keeps him relevant in the gaming world, where millions of young fans live. It aligns him with the GOAT and positions him as a future legend himself.
Imagine it's Shedeur, man. Holla at your boy, man. I need a pair, dog. I need me a pair, bro. But imagine how Shedeur is about to break the damn internet being an NFL player. And really, name an NFL player since Coach Prime, besides Michael Vick don't count, that have sold their own signature sneaker and have been successful. Coach Prime is arguably the Michael Jordan of football players when it comes to the shoe game, bro.
So, what can we learn from Shedeur Sanders? First, know your worth and don't be afraid to bet on yourself. Second, think long-term, because equity beats salary every single time. Third, diversify your income, because your playing career won't last forever. Finally, stay authentic, because that's what makes you valuable in the first place. Shedeur Sanders isn't just changing the game. He is rewriting the entire playbook for what it means to be a modern athlete. From the football field to the fashion runway, from Gatorade boardrooms to Paris Fashion Week, this young man is building something that will outlast his playing career by decades. He is showing every young athlete watching that you don't have to settle for the standard deal.